Uber Eats is doing something that a couple of other companies have already done. But can they do it better? Customers will soon see some new options on Uber Eats. In this video, we're going to talk about what these new features are, what they mean for drivers, but more importantly, what they mean for our money.
Are you a rideshare driver who needs extra cash? Meet Wallet. We're a cash advance company trusted by over 90,000 drivers. We help drivers who need cash advances for paying insurance, vehicle maintenance repairs, gas money, and any of your business-related endeavors. We have an extremely fast application process, allowing you to have your money in 24 hours. It's fast, no impact on your credit score, and no credit checks. We approve your application based on cash flow from your rideshare business. Join Wallet today and never worry about being strapped for cash again.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Zach Drives Fast for the RideShare Guy. And in this video, we're going to talk about AI, the companies competing with each other, and more customers being able to order than ever before. And of course, how these changes will affect the drivers. Technology is always evolving, and when used correctly, makes our life easier, can automate boring, repetitive tasks, and it can provide information in the blink of an eye. Hell, I remember being a kid in the early 90s and using a computer for the first time. This is what Yahoo looked like in 1996, and yes, that is actually the front page of Yahoo in October of 96. This is what the internet sounded like, and this is what a picture looked like for the first 5 minutes it was loading. Fast forward about 26 years, and there's this thing called artificial intelligence. It can simulate thinking and logic, can have a full-blown conversation with you, can even diagnose medical conditions. On top of that, it can pass the bar. AI is everywhere, and whether you hate it or love it, it's likely not going away anytime soon. We're seeing more and more companies relying on its technology, and yes, that includes the gig apps. In recent months, we've seen both Instacart and Doordash working on their own AI technology to bolster profits and make for a more seamless customer experience. Maybe you're meal planning, but your normal go-tos are getting just a little bit stale. Or maybe you pissed off your doctor and they're making you switch to some weird diet that you know nothing about. Fear not though. Instacart's AI will suggest various dishes and then create a shopping list for you. Essentially, you can skip the meal planning, the shopping list, and the shopping itself, and let Instacart's AI along with a human driver do the work for you. The future is a strange place. Like Instacart, Doordash has been working on its own AI technology, this time in the form of a chatbot that'll ask you various questions about what you're in the mood for, and then suggest various dishes from local restaurants. The chatbot will then place the order on your behalf, again, removing most of your workload. Personally, I think it would be really cool if this were like ChatGPT, where it remembers previous conversations and preferences. That way, when your significant other is mad at you, you can just tell the chatbot that you're in the doghouse, it'll do the work for you, and you can go right back to schmoozing. Anyway, I digress. Now we're seeing Uber embracing AI technology, and what they're doing, in my opinion, is pretty unique. Like the other two, the information presently available suggests that Uber's chatbot will help you find what you're craving, but it does a lot more than that. Uber is touting the on sale aisle of their AI. Essentially, what this means is if our customers are on a budget and in a hurry, they can press a few buttons within the Uber Eats app and see what's on sale. So what does this mean for drivers? Well, people love convenience. That's why apps like these and services like Amazon Prime exist. However, generally when people think of gig apps, they associate them with being very pricey because they typically are. I mean, as both a driver and the occasional customer, I know that I can order one entree for myself on one of these apps, or for approximately the same price, I can take somebody with me to dinner. That's why I think that the on sale section is going to be really great. It could potentially attract a bunch of new customers that otherwise wouldn't have used the apps due to the expense. Inflation's been crazy. We've been seeing more and more people spending less and less money. If a customer knows that after a busy day, they can sign into Uber Eats and feed their entire family for significantly less than what it would usually cost, that is going to lead to more orders for drivers. Of course, when you're dealing with frugal customers, they may not be as inclined to tip well or at all. So, like always, you need to make sure that the orders you're accepting make sense for you financially. It's important to note that Uber Eats has not rolled these new features out. They're expected at the end of this year or early next year. Essentially, right in the middle of winter when we're typically our busiest. The timing for these new features couldn't be better. The kids are back in school, the weather's getting cold, the daylight hours are shorter, and people rely on convenience services more and more. Ultimately, the gig apps are competing with each other, but assuming you're doing it right and you're multi-apping, shouldn't matter which app the order is placed on because you're going to be there to get it. Speaking of competition, Uber's taking another page out of DoorDash's playbook. In the next several months, customers will now see a new payment option. Customers who receive food benefits through their state will soon be able to place grocery orders on Uber Eats. This will result in a huge uptick of grocery orders on the platform. But is that a good thing? It's yet to be seen if Uber is going to allow customers to tip using a different payment method. But my suspicion is almost all of these orders will be non-tip. Depending on how Uber handles this may or may not be a bad thing for drivers. Walmart Spark customers are able to use their food benefits and get their orders delivered. And, of course, almost all of these come through without tips. But there's a catch. Because most of these orders don't have tips, they frequently get bonus to the point where it doesn't make sense for the driver not to take them. In fact, I've been paid upwards of $25 to take a single jar of peanut butter about 2 miles. Just yesterday, I got paid about $15 to drive a single bag of Doritos about 4 miles. Not bad money. Now, do I think that Uber Eats is going to bonus orders quite that heavily? No, I don't. But ultimately, the company does have to get these orders delivered. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we could see Uber bonusing these orders to the point where they make sense to take. Essentially, chances are pretty great that we're going to see a massive uptick on grocery orders for Uber Eats. The downsides are yet to be seen, but my suspicion is most of these orders will probably be pretty low paying and generally not worth the driver's time. That is, unless Uber substantially raises the base pay on these orders. Who knows? We may be seeing a ton more trip radars in the near future. Food stamp cards cannot be used to add tips. So, will we see Uber Eats adding an additional payment option for customers for optional driver tips? And even if they did, would the customers use it? Assuming most of these orders come through without a tip, will Uber make them worth the driver's time? Or are we just going to have a bunch of new trip radars in the near future? Ultimately, time will tell, and we're just going to have to wait it out. What are your thoughts? If you were a customer, would you be more apt to give Uber Eats a try with their deals section? Is this a good feature for drivers or not so much? What features would you like to see Uber Eats roll out next? Share your thoughts in the comments. Personally, I'm of the opinion that the more opportunities we have as drivers, the more money we'll make in the long run. As long as we don't start seeing Uber playing games with acceptance rate, there is no harm in pressing that decline button until you see an order that's worth your time. Well, that's going to about wrap up the video. If you haven't done so yet, please do consider pressing the like button and subscribing to the RideShare Guy. You can catch my videos here weekly. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll also enjoy this video. You should definitely check it out. I'm Zach Drives Fast for the RideShare Guy. Take care.